Plaintiff Duval Mariano says the defendant has always been his favorite uncle, and he has always encouraged Duval to follow his dreams. However, he's suing because at a pool party, the defendant pushed his friend's nephew into the pool. And when Duval's friend jumped in to save the child, she damaged her phone. Defendant Michael Dowdell says he's proud of Duval because he grew up in a rough neighborhood, but he always stayed on the straight and narrow. Michael admits that he pushed a child in the pool, but insists the water was only 2 feet deep and the child could stand.
Start with you.
Me and my uncle, we have a great relationship. You know, I've grown up pretty much with him. You know, growing up and being in elementary school, seen him pretty much every single day. Like, you know, I would say, you know, in regards to him, like being in my life, you know, going from career to college and so on and so forth, he was probably one of my most encouraging aspects of that process. Good. I would honestly say that, you know, he is one of my best uncles, my favorite uncle, Good. And one person I could honestly say that believes me more than I believe in myself sometimes.
Nice. Excellent. And has he always been a happy guy, no matter what?
Oh, yeah.
Obstacles, whatever the obstacles, he's always smiling and...
He's always smiling, always got the funny stories to tell.
He looked like he done had a few obstacles in life, but he is happy as you can be.
Okay.
I think.
He is my favorite uncle, and one person I could honestly say that believes me more than I believe in myself sometimes.
Nice. Excellent. And has he always been a happy guy, no matter what?
Oh, yeah.
Obstacles, whatever the obstacles, he's always smiling and...
He's always smiling, always got the funny stories to tell.
He looked like he done had a few obstacles in life, but he is happy as you can be.
Defendant Michael Dowdell is being sued by his nephew, who claims at his daughter's birthday party, Michael pushed a young child in the pool who couldn't swim.
Tell me about your relationship with your nephew.
Oh,
sounds like he has a lot of respect for you.
Yes, sir, Judge Mathis, and I have for him too, but he's my baby sister's youngest son. And I, like I said, I'm proud of him for coming up in Compton in a rough neighborhood.
Yes, you didn't tell me that part. I'll get
in
back
a rough
on
neighborhood, but he turned out to be a good young man.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me where you grew up, how it went.
Oh, yeah, he grew up good, you know.
Ask him.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you know, I grew up,
what
you
he
know,
was doing outside when you seen him.
Good boy, good
well, you know, I grew up
He might have had the biggest sack in town.
No.
Go ahead.
No, growing up in Compton, it was pretty rough. Growing up, you know, I was in a two-parent household. I have 2 siblings. Yeah. Like, you know, I would say that I learned a lot from most of their mistakes, which kind of guided me toward my path, like, you know, what I wanted to be and what I wanted to grow up to be. And, you know, I did have that background, like, you know, that family, and, you know, including him as well, to give me that extra push to push me in the right direction in regards to what I want to do with my career.
And did you have a father in your household?
Yes, I had a two-parent household, correct.
And that typically makes a big difference, regardless of what environment you're in. And for those who perhaps haven't experienced that reality or even know people who have experienced that reality, I direct you to the good times. And you saw a man who was dedicated to his family. You saw a man who was poor and impoverished, but he stayed there with his family, and they struggled, and those boys were all right in life. And that's an example of what is necessary, is that fathers be in the home when, particularly for boys. I'm told that there are some facts on the girls too. I don't know. I'm sure there is. But I know for boys, the majority, fathers, the majority who do not have a father in their life, not necessarily in the household, but in their life, the overwhelming majority, statistics say, are engaged in criminal activity at some point in their life. Drugs and criminal activity. They hadn't had that fatherly supervision to provide both an example and the discipline and fear. And so when others step in, that's what we need. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulate your father, because that's why you are where you are, in my opinion.
Okay.
Raised in Compton. Did they press you to be in the street?
No.
Gangbangers?
I mean, no, my brothers kind of prevented that from happening. They kept me away from, like, you know, that portion of growing up in Compton. So they, like, pretty much kept me always in the books and making sure I had after school activities. And
what have you done since graduation?
So after high school, I went to Cal State Northridge, finished up my degree there in psychology in about 5 years. Once I finished there, started my career, which is where the company I'm still currently working for. Then I went on to get my master's degree in business. And I'm still working for the company and just moving up the corporate ladder as of right now.
So proud of you.
Good kid.
Now, here's the big question that matters to me most. Coming from Compton and seeing that reality that they deal with. You're right there. What have you done for the community?
What have I done for the community?
Yes, sir. Don't ask me that question back. That's a bad sign.
Well, for the community, honestly haven't done much for the community.
Why?
I will say that there was some things that happened after high school where I was actually told by one of my lords to actually move out of Compton because of some things that had happened and they didn't want me to be a part of it. So I kind of had to stay away from the community.
All right, there's a few ways you can do it. And there should be some mentorship programs in Los Angeles, so just Google, or we can find everything these days. Google mentorship, youth mentorship, boys programs. That's what we need from guys like you. We need a positive example for young black men who don't have fathers and who need it. And so you could be a very good role. Or go to a church, even if you don't believe in it. Just go and participate in their youth program if they have one. So that's my suggestion, because we can't make it out and then just keep going and just obtain success and monies for ourselves and leave folks behind.
Correct.
We have an obligation. That's why, and I always try to put a little insight, but I'll be very honest with you, middle class, upper middle class black folks. Poor black folks don't like you. You know that. That's why you're grinning. Yeah. And anybody grow up in the hood know.
Defendant Michael Dowdell is being sued by his nephew, who claims at his daughter's birthday party, Michael pushed a young child in the pool who couldn't swim.
Upper middle class people had an obligation. They moved and don't come back. He's going to, though, because he's heard and I've given him some insight. And they can at least come back to the church and start a mentorship. I know you're in the suburbs, you don't want to come to the city, you don't know where to go to the city, you scared. Well, go to church. You go to church in the city still. That's the only place you come to the city for, is you'll go to church. So start something at your church to help poor black people. So that you're getting money behind, educated, highfalutin, you done made it. Yeah, we need to make it with you. All right. We need to help our community when we become successful. All right. And I'm proud of you. And you're going to come back and let me know what you've been doing. South LA, you have Imperial Gardens projects. That's in Watts, right?
Yeah.
Next door. And I've been working at that community center. I have done some work over there. All right. So anything else from you before I find out what the lawsuit, why he's suing you?
No, you can go.
All right.
Yeah.
Why are you suing?
Like I said, I love my uncle. Like, he's been there since day one. You know, I have a lot of respect for him. You know, I even have the birds and the bees conversations with this man right here. Like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, in a joking manner, but, you know, he kind of put me up on game, like, you know, what it was, what to watch out for out in these streets.
There you go. And a woman can't teach you that. I'm sorry, ladies. These boys need a man in life. Y'all women can't tell them how to handle them streets with another man. With these other super macho kids, you don't know about no super macho mindset. You don't know the impulsiveness of these young street kids. You don't know the adrenaline they get when they shooting. We know because we've seen it or we know about it. And we know when you're getting into a fist fight or any other type of confrontation, there's a certain adrenaline. And it feels good when you win. Because your adrenaline was there trying to achieve that goal, and you were excited, and it makes you feel, woo, ecstatic. That's why you're doing 20 years now, though. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
In regards to adrenaline, I think he knows a lot about it because he actually taught me how to defend myself, too. I would say he had a big part of that in my life as well.
You felt good when you won, didn't you?
You know, we got in the gloves a couple of times. You know, I think he said I hit him too hard one time, and I think he stopped, you know, messing around with me.
You know that made you feel good.
It did.
I didn't do that, though.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so Your Honor, on May 28th of 2022, I had just moved back from Texas, actually, from San Antonio, Texas. And it was my daughter's birthday, so I decided to throw her birthday for her third year of living or whatever. So I wanted to get my family together, surround her around people that she loved, you know, just throw a big birthday party because I never was able to throw one for her like myself. It was going to be a pool party. And in the midst of all that happening, the party was going well, everyone was laughing, everyone was joking, everyone was having a good time until my uncle decided to throw a kid in the pool whom he had no relation to or has ever seen in his life and could potentially drowning him or even causing some type of long-term trauma, which I think is absolutely deplorable to say the least. And, you know, I just think when that situation happened, it made a turn for the worse and the party was pretty much over at that point. I was actually taking off the baby shark suit. I was doing the dance for the baby shark. I was one of the sharks for the actual dance itself. And as I was taking it off on the patio, and right through the window, you could see towards the pool, I heard a splash. And I'm like, what was that? And I hear like a lot of commotion going on. So I look out the window, and I see a little kid like in the water, like flailing around. And he's like screaming and like crying. And then I see my friend, she's running and jumping into the pool to grab him, and it's her nephew. So she calmed him down. They get out of the pool, and at the time, I'm thinking the kid just probably fell in the pool or something like that. And, you know, so I go outside to try to extinguish the situation so, you know, nothing else gets out of hand. And when I get out there, everyone's pointing at my uncle saying like, oh, no, he pushed him in the pool and so on and so forth. I'm like, oh, no, that's incredulous. I don't think my uncle did that. I don't think he would do something like that. No, I know he really pushed me in the pool.
Can't talk like that when we go to the hood. I'm going to take you in the hood with me. You can't talk that, you know, incredulous. No, sir. Get that out your vocabulary when we go to that hood, doctor. You ain't going to get me robbed going in there talking over people's head. You got to be like, what's up, baby? You good? What's up with it? Whoop-de-whoop. That's you go go there. You all are very, it's incredulous in here. Judge! Get that square out of here, man. All right, so I'm just gotta have fun. You know that.
Right.
Defendant Michael Dowdell is being sued by his nephew, who claims at his daughter's birthday party, Michael pushed a young child in the pool who couldn't swim.
What did he say about the phone?
So once that happened, they got out. We got the kid situated. We got him dried off. You know, he was actually in his street clothes as well. He wasn't in any type of swim attire, so there was no indication that he was actually there swimming with other kids. I went into the room. We got him changing clothes, and my friend said, oh, my phone is broken. Like, it's not working anymore. It has water damage. So I went back to my uncle and said, hey, man, you know, you need to go in there. You need to talk to her. You need to apologize. And it looks like her phone is broken, so you might have to pay for that phone, too. So he goes in there. He goes to the room. He apologizes. Then when the phone came up, he was pretty much like, you know, how much is the phone? I'm like, look, this is an iPhone. Everyone knows iPhones are very expensive. It's probably going to be around $800 to $1,000. He just said, oh, I'm not paying no $1,000. I'm not paying for no phone. Like, that little kid was okay. Like, he told me to push me and so on and so forth. And I was like, what do you mean not paying for it? Like, and then, you know, we kind of went back and forth there. You know, we kind of like got into like a shouting match and whatnot, and then our family came in, they calmed us down, and then that was that. So I just said, you know, I'm gonna let everything calm down. I'm gonna revisit the situation at a later time, and you know, I'm gonna ask him like once everything is cooled down. So like about a week or so later, I call him like, hey, look, man, this is how much this phone costs, about $968. Are you gonna pay for this? And he said, no, I'm not paying for it. So I called my cousin, who is his son, who's a junior, said, hey, could you talk to Uncle Michael, or, you know, could you talk to your dad? Like, I'll pay him for this phone because I'm not trying to be responsible for someone else's actions. I've always done that, and I don't want that to happen again. And then, you know, he was pretty consistent that he wasn't going to pay for it. So about 2 weeks later, I just went ahead and I paid my friend Zelda some money. As you can see in the evidence, will show you. I sold her the money to pay for the phone because I don't want any bad blood between me and her. And she got her new phone, and, you know, now we're here today.
All right, sir.
Okay, Judge Mathis, I do admit I didn't throw the little kid in the pool. I was talking to him. All the other little kids was in the pool swimming. So when I asked him, I said, man, why you not in the pool? He said, because I don't have no swim trunks. I said, man, you don't need no swim trunks. I said, so wash you in the dryer inside the garage. And I just pushed him in the water. Judge Mathis, the water was 2 feet. All the little kid had to do was stand up. and the water's here. She just jumped in. I'm thinking she jumping in for the fun too. Then later on, I'm outside. One of my other nephews come in and say, Uncle Mike, Duval want to talk to you. So I go up in the house. So I said, what's up, Duval? Hey, you know, what you did was wrong. I say, little man, I say, I apologize. I say, I apologize to you too, sis. And then I turn around and walk away. He jumped up and he grabbed me. Unc, you gonna listen to me when I'm talking to you? I said, Duval, I said, don't never grab me like that, man. So like you said, the family came and, disputed it. I went on out the door and went home. I jumped in my car and I went home back to L.A. About 2-3 days later, I get a phone call saying, this girl gonna sue me. I say, sue me for what? They say, for a phone. I said, man, I didn't take her phone. I'm thinking they're gonna accuse me of taking no phone. I don't know nothing about she had no phone when she jumped into the swimming pool. So I said, I'm not gonna pay her for no phone. I didn't take her phone. So later on, I hear about she jumped in the pool with the phone. I said, that's not my fault. I didn't push her in there, but I understand she panicked because, me shoving a little kid in there, and her reaction made her go up in there. So I can't deny that.
Defendant Michael Dowdell is being sued by his nephew, who claims at his daughter's birthday party, Michael pushed a young child in the pool who couldn't swim.
I can absolutely see how you don't feel you should have to pay for it, because I'll say this, but that's not necessarily.
True. I know the last word you had.
It's not necessarily going to be the case today that you don't have, but I'm going to tell you why I can see.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't think it's unreasonable or extreme to push a kid into shallow water.
Yeah.
I think,
out of fun. It was out of fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that. And so, on the other hand, whatever happens when you commit that act that you're intended to have, you're having fun with,
yeah.
If there's a destructive result or a negative result,
yes, sir.
You're responsible for it because you put that act into play.
Right.
But she wouldn't have had to jump in if you hadn't put him in. And like you say, the water was shallow, so your defense is she ain't had to jump in there.
Yes, sir.
You can't determine what this woman might want to do. Child might panic when he gets in 3 feet water.
True.
Child could be 4 feet and panic when they get in 3 feet.
Sir.
Or 4 feet and panic when they get in 2 feet. So you don't know. And so we don't know what's on her mind. So for her to jump in, and she suffers damages as a result, and the only reason she had to rescue him is because you pushed him in, that would tie you to that liability. And so I'm going to grant his judgment today, but I understand how you could feel that way. I don't know if I might even fight it myself if I was you. I was having fun with the boy. The boy was only 2 feet of water. When you almost bust your head diving in 2 feet of water to get this boy. I might be the same way. But they would say, no, the act is considered negligence. Not having protected against the possible result of harm, you've been negligent.
Yeah.
All right. So if the child had a, what you call it on?
Lifesaver.
Life jacket on?
Yeah, life jacket.
But if it's possible that the child might hit their head.
True.
I'm just saying, there's some circumstances of which you could have gotten off, but this isn't one. All right.
Hey,
Justice for the plaintiff. Yes,
could you
sir.
give a shout out to my Mama Sweet. Mama Sweet.
Mama Sweet. All right. She
Okay.
makes sweet potato pie?
Oh, she make it all.
I'll be there.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good day.
Yes, sir.
Justice for the plaintiff.
I love you, one. I'm just glad we can finally get past this, and I just want to get back to where we used to be.
Well, I'm always love you. No love lost.
No love lost, man.